For any ladies who might have diastasis recti, this message is for you. We end up talking to a lot of women in clinic and online who have this notion that there is a big gaping hole in their abdominal wall that we call diastasis. And that, in fact, is really not the case. And I think part of that is because we see images like this all the time. And so this is kind of the normal gap that we might have. And then, of course, there's this giant gaping hole in the abdominal wall. And, you know, I get it. That's one way to kind of demonstrate simplistically what's happening, but it's actually not the full and true story. And so my last post was talking about how the connective tissue that holds the two halves of that muscle together, how that connective tissue is a little more like taffy. And what happens is that taffy, as we are growing a human, tends to kind of stretch out and get a little bit loose. So what we want to focus on is the fact that nothing's torn, nothing's ripped, and there's not this just giant void of space, right? There's actually that taffy is still there and connected, it just happens to be a little overstretched. So the goal is not necessarily to regain the original sort of taffy elasticity. Maybe we can do that, but really the goal is to, and the other goal is to not need to close the gap, right? You don't have to have this in order for you to look better, feel better, and have improved function. The goal is that we need to be able to generate force from the right side to the left side across that gap, that we have some tension there, and pelvic PTs are the perfect people to help you work on that. So to demonstrate that, I have mystery white artificially flavored Airhead, which makes me really super glad my daughter's not actually eating this. And so if we want to just kind of look at this, so this is the linea alba right in the center. That's the connective tissue that supports, we'll pretend this is the right and the left half of the abdominal muscles. And so we have a train coming through. Hopefully that's not too distracting. So what happens is this, it just sort of kind of gets, it doesn't actually tear, it kind of just gets a little over stretchy. And so what we need to be able to do is not really close that gap, because see, there's still a little bit of a bridge here. What we want to do is to be able to fix this middle part so that it can generate some tension again, right? So again, you know, now we have this kind of loose, and when we palpate that, so when we're testing for that, what we feel is the finger sink. What we want to be able to feel, and what would indicate that it's a stronger, healthier, more functioning connective tissue, is that when we put our fingers here, yeah, the muscles still may be really wide and there may be more distance here, but that there's tension under the fingers. And again, pelvic PTs are a great way to help you reestablish that resiliency of that connective tissue. So hopefully that's helpful to think about taffy as an analogy for what's happening at the linea alba versus like a complete tear and a big hole in your abdominal wall. Okay, thanks.